Here's what a woman feels during your absence. Female psychology. Stoic love. Men. It's time to get real about something important. Women often don't realize how much they need you until you're no longer there. Sure, they may say they appreciate your presence, but the true test of her feelings comes when you're not around. That's when you'll see how deeply she values you. Welcome back to The Noble Man, where we guide men in navigating relationships with confidence, clarity, and control. Today, we're addressing a powerful lesson. What really happens when you're not there? It's not as simple as her just missing you. In fact, her emotions and thoughts will shift dramatically in your absence. Depending on who you are and the value you bring, she will either grow more drawn to you or subconsciously start to detach. You've probably heard the modern dating myth that constant attention is key to keeping a woman interested. It's a dangerous lie. The truth is that space, or even absence, plays a pivotal role in establishing respect and emotional attachment. When you step away, whether by design or circumstance, you're giving her space to reflect on your true value. And believe me, her reactions will speak volumes about her genuine feelings. Some women will experience deep longing, others may feel unsure, and a few won't feel much at all. That last one, it's a message you need to hear. Most men, unfortunately, miss these signs because they're too focused on chasing, over-explaining, or trying to fix things that don't need fixing. But the Stoic man knows. True control comes from understanding these subtle emotional cues and maintaining composure in the process. Let's break this down further. I'll walk you through the 7 key emotional shifts a woman may experience when you're not around. We'll talk about how to read them, leverage them, and ultimately keep the power and control you need to build strong, healthy relationships. Get ready to learn something that could change the way you approach love and attraction. Let's dive in. One, her ego takes a hit. In relationships, there is a subtle but powerful dynamic that many men overlook: the ego of the woman they're pursuing. When a man pulls back, when he stops chasing, the woman's ego takes a hit. Women are often accustomed to being the center of attention. They expect to be pursued, admired, and, most importantly, to have men constantly trying to win them over, or at the very least, maintaining consistent communication. So when you, as a man, suddenly step back, when you stop feeding that attention cycle, she will notice, not in her heart, but in her ego. At first, she may brush it off, telling herself, "Oh, he's probably busy. He'll reach out soon enough." But as time passes and the hours turn into days, the confusion starts to set in. Why isn't he reaching out? She wonders. It's this confusion that sparks a realization. Her ego, once so comfortably inflated, now feels the pressure. The silence begins to weigh on her, and she starts to question herself. In today's dating world, most men operate out of fear. They fear losing her, being forgotten, or the terrifying thought of her finding someone else. So, they do everything they can to keep her attention, sending messages just to check in, liking her posts, or giving in to the temptation of that empty, "Hey, how's your day?" text. They stay in this endless loop, desperately trying to remain relevant. But a man who understands his worth does not fall into this trap. He knows that his attention is a valuable asset. It's not something to be squandered by constant validation. When he removes it, the effect is undeniable. A woman will feel it, and for the first time, she's no longer in control. It's a subtle shift, but it's significant. The power dynamic has changed. By embracing this principle from Stoic wisdom, you as a man can understand your own value and strength. Rather than chasing validation, you align with your purpose and self-worth. When you stop being overly accommodating, stop chasing, and instead focus on your own life and aspirations, you project strength and self-respect. Women, just like anyone, are drawn to strength. They respect a man who knows his worth and doesn't feel the need to constantly prove it. So, while it may seem counterintuitive, pulling back, shifting your focus, and prioritizing your own life can make you more attractive and powerful in the relationship dynamic. The key is to stop being nice just for the sake of it. Be authentic, be strong, and let your actions reflect your value. This doesn't just shift the power dynamic, it helps you grow into the man you were meant to be. 2. She feels a power shift. When you're not around, the shift in power is undeniable. Men often don't realize the subtle dynamics they fall into when dating, constantly reaching out, texting first, double texting when ignored, trying hard to impress. It's a script many men follow without giving it much thought. But when you step back, when you stop playing the part she expects you to play, the balance changes. Initially, she doesn't think much of it. She assumes you'll eventually come around. She thinks you're just playing hard to get, that you'll come back, that you're following the usual routine. But then, time passes, and nothing happens. That's when she feels something foreign, something she's not accustomed to. Uncertainty. And we all know women don't like uncertainty when they thought they had control. She walked in with the assumption that she could replace you easily, that you were just one of many options. But now, with your absence, no explanation, no begging, no checking in, she's confronted with a reality that doesn't sit well with her. Maybe I wasn't as important to him as I thought. That realization stirs doubt. She starts questioning the entire situation. Was she the one being pursued? Or was she the one chasing after all? This is where things get fascinating. As that control slips away from her, her mind begins to spiral. She's not used to being the one wondering. She's used to being the one pursued, with all the options, and controlling the emotional pace. But when a man takes the step of flipping that script, when he steps back and refuses to engage, he disrupts the entire game. Suddenly, she's the one checking her phone, frustrated, asking herself, why isn't he acting like the rest? The more she thinks about it, the more her emotions get tangled up in the situation. This is the power of self-control. When you refuse to act desperate, when you refuse to feed the validation-seeking cycle, you put yourself in a position where you dictate where your attention goes. And that's when a woman begins to question everything. Attraction isn't about always being there. It's about knowing when to step back and let her feel the shift in power. As she feels that shift, she'll either come back on your terms, or she'll reveal that she never valued you in the first place. Either way, you win. As the famous philosopher Socrates once said, strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, weak minds discuss people. When you remain true to yourself, when you control your emotions and actions, you become a man who doesn't need to chase. You simply become someone who is worth pursuing. This is the Stoic approach to love, to know when to act and when to be silent, to allow her to come to you, or to let her walk away if she's not truly invested. Take control, not of her, but of yourself. In doing so, you'll master the game. 3. She questions your value. When you step back, a woman is faced with an uncomfortable yet powerful question. Was he truly worth my time? Women don't miss a man simply because he's not there. They miss him because his presence added something invaluable to their lives. If you were the type of man who constantly validated her, texted her endlessly, and made yourself too available, your absence will hardly stir any real emotion. However, if you were a man of leadership, excitement, and stability, the moment you step away, she'll feel that absence deeply. At first, she might not notice, continuing her life as usual, accepting attention from others, staying busy, and moving forward. But over time, something will change. She will begin to question what drew her to you in the first place. Was it your confidence, your ambition, the way you made her feel? These thoughts will surface, and she'll start evaluating your true worth in a way she never did before. If you were a man who held your ground, maintained high standards, and made her earn your attention, she'll feel that gap when you're gone. She'll realize that the excitement, the leadership, and the masculine energy you brought into her life are now absent. She'll recognize that no one else measures up. The void left by your presence will make her crave what she once had. In contrast, if you were overly available, constantly eager to please, or too focused on making her happy, she won't feel the loss as deeply. In fact, she may even feel a sense of relief, confirming that you weren't as valuable as she once believed. Let's take a real-life scenario to understand this better. A man spends months dating a woman, always giving, always making time for her. She enjoys it, but never fully values it. Then one day, he starts pulling back. Less texting, fewer responses, more focus on his own life. At first, she doesn't seem to care. But as time passes, a week, 2 weeks, she begins to notice. She sees him out, thriving, handling his business, unbothered. Suddenly, she's questioning her place in his life. At that moment, his value rises exponentially. That's when the power of absence kicks in. It forces her to see you for who you truly are, a man she either values deeply or one she can easily forget. A high-value man understands this dynamic. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg for attention. He lets his presence be a privilege, not a given. When you pull back, you give her the opportunity to reflect, to realize what she had and what she might lose. This is why absence is powerful. It forces a woman to confront her feelings, making her question whether she truly values you or whether you are easily disposable. As a man who understands Stoic principles, the key here is balance. Let her miss you. Let her feel the absence of your value in her life. When you stand firm in your standards, when you don't chase or bend over backwards, you let your value speak for itself. The absence of your presence is what will make her realize that you're not just another man to be forgotten, but someone truly worth her time and energy. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with the idea that absence can make a woman value you more? Share your thoughts in the comments. 4. Her attraction intensifies. When you step back from a woman's life, don't expect her to forget about you. Instead, something unexpected happens. Her attraction to you starts to grow. It's not that she suddenly falls in love. It's the power of distance at work. Distance has a way of playing with the mind, making people crave what they can't have. When you're not always there, when you're not within easy reach, something shifts. Women aren't typically drawn to men who overwhelm them with constant attention. Instead, they are captivated by emotionally engaging experiences that stir up feelings. One of the most powerful emotions that fuels attraction is uncertainty. It's the tension of not knowing where she stands with you, of not being able to predict your every move. This sense of unpredictability is what keeps things exciting. When you're always there, replying instantly to her messages, liking every photo she posts, and offering endless validation, there's no mystery left. She knows she has your attention, and that takes away the excitement of chasing it. But when you pull back, when she realizes that she's no longer the center of your world, everything changes. At first, she may not even notice the shift. Her routine continues as usual, with the expectation that you'll reach out to her eventually. But time passes, and she picks up her phone, expecting a message that isn't there. She sees you online, but there's no text. That's when she starts to think about you more than she expected. The truth is, this isn't about you at all, not yet. It's about her response to the space you've created. Human nature is simple. When something is always available, we take it for granted. But when it becomes scarce, we begin to appreciate it more. That's exactly what happens when you stop making yourself too easy to reach. At first, she may not act on her thoughts, and she might even try to convince herself she doesn't care. But deep inside, a shift has already occurred. The man she thought would always be there, providing her with a sense of security, is no longer as present. That insecurity, the small fear of losing you, becomes a driving force behind her growing attraction. This is why men who truly understand attraction never overgive. They know that a woman's emotions aren't tied to the simple consistency of being available. They are tied to emotional highs and lows, to moments of connection and mystery. A woman doesn't stay attracted to a man just because he's nice or always there for her. She stays attracted because he stirs something real in her, something that lingers even in his absence. And once she begins to feel that emotional pull, she's already more invested than she ever intended to be. As the saying goes, absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's in that absence, that slight uncertainty, that attraction deepens. You don't need to be constantly available to keep a woman's interest. Sometimes, pulling back just a little can make all the difference. Think about your own relationships. How do you respond when you're given space, or when someone else pulls back? That feeling is universal. Now reflect on this and share your thoughts in the comments below. How has absence affected your relationships? Let's face it, men. This is the harsh reality most don't want to admit. If she can replace you without a second thought, she never truly valued you in the first place. If she moves on without hesitation, if your absence doesn't bother her, it's clear. You were never a priority. You were just an option. And a man who understands his worth should never be just an option. How many times have you seen a woman lose interest the moment a man starts chasing her? How often do men panic when they sense a woman slipping away, only to push her further by acting needy? It's a cycle that repeats itself endlessly. The only way to break free from this is to understand that your value doesn't diminish just because she fails to recognize it. You are not defined by her actions or lack of actions. So, I'm asking you, reflect on a time when a woman's reaction to your absence revealed her true intentions. Did she come back with respect, or did she show you that you were never as important to her as you thought? Share your story in the comments below. I want to hear about it, and I'll be reading through them to connect with some of you. This is a conversation we need to have, and remember this: a man who knows his worth never has to beg to be chosen. If you're ready to dive deeper into understanding your masculinity in today's dating world, join my Podia community. Link in the description. You'll find powerful insights there to help you navigate the complexities of relationships with clarity and confidence. Stay strong, stay focused, and protect your power. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.